Hi there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable. Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. So glad that you're here with me as we continue the series Beyond Great. And in this series, we are diving into a bunch of things that the Lord has placed on my heart for me to share with you in hopes to propel you into what God is asking you to do, calling you to do, and who it is that He wants you to become to unleash all that untapped potential that you have been holding back from the world and to help you peel back some layers as you reflect and take on your own faith journey. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. But before we go any further today, I have to say that I love that you are here listening in and spending time with us. So honored that I get to be a part of your day. You guys are just so amazing. And I have to thank you for all your love and support. I appreciate your feedback, your reviews, and I love that you share this podcast and the Set Free message with your friends and family. So if you could keep on doing that, that would be pretty amazing because you are helping this movement as it helps reach more women and it impacts more lives. And that is certainly what life is all about. So thank you so much. So let's dive in here. I always asked those that I coach, I asked them this question: where do you see yourself in 2 years? But then again, I started flipping it a bit to get even more specific. So now I ask, if you were to look at the trajectory of your current patterns, where would you be in 5 years? Where are your choices and decisions leading you? Every single thing that you do has an effect on your life. When you continue to repeat those things, they create your future reality. And that reality may be your potential made possible, or it may be your potential paralyzed. And I know I talk about our potential so often here on Find Your Fierce, but it's because I am so passionate about bringing out all that untapped potential into the world, because within you is all the potential in the world. Potential to, as Jesus said in John 14:12, do the things He did and even greater. That's what's inside of you. That's what is possible. And I can't even wrap my mind around all of that really, but if Jesus said it, then I believe it's probably true, right? As believers and followers of Jesus, our potential is the power to do even greater things than Jesus did. But has that potential been paralyzed? Paralyzed by choices that take you off course, paralyzed by fear that tells you that you're not good enough, paralyzed by a past that brings guilt and shame, and a future that is jacked up sideways with anxiety. This is what causes our trajectory to get out of alignment. Where we're heading is not where God says we could go. What we're doing is not what God empowered us to do. It's just a little bit off by a few degrees. And here's the thing about being a little off today in our choices and decisions. When repeated, it takes us radically off course. We end up in a completely different destination than the one intended, and it happens little by little. It's just like the nose of an airplane turned by a degree. It creates a completely different destination after thousands and thousands of miles. Experts in air navigation have a rule of thumb known as the 1 in 60 rule. It states that for every 1 degree a plane veers off course, it misses its target destination by 1 mile for every 60 miles it flies. So over thousands of miles, you can end up in a completely different state, all because of a tiny 1 degree difference. A 1 degree negative in your life repeated every day for 60 days takes you off course by a mile. And you keep on doing that for 5 years and you're off by 30 miles. I know, it's such a tiny misdirection that we never understood its impact. And that is how the enemy works. The enemy works in the misconception that these little things don't matter. He swoops in with his counterfeit dealings and tells us a little won't hurt anything. And one day, it doesn't make a difference, that it's not a big deal. No one's going to ever know. And before we know it, we're face deep in a carton of ice cream, or down in a bag of salt and vinegar chips, or smoking another cigarette, buying another pair of black leggings when you already have 83, or wasting another hour on TikTok. and the trajectory is off. We're off course. The devil is doing a celebration dance because if he can't ruin your life, at least he can get you off track. It happens when we're just so busy. It happens when boundaries get blurred and we give a little here and a cheat a little over there. It happens when we make excuses and accept less than our best effort. It happens when we ignore that still small voice that whispers something isn't right here, but we move forward anyway. Does anyone else ignore that still small voice sometimes? That feeling in your spirit that gently serves to guide you, but you don't listen. Looking back on every mess I know I've gotten myself in, I can remember the pivotal moment when I chose to not listen and choose to do my own thing. So the trajectory of our life goes off course, and the distance from the life we're living and the life we're created for grows a little bigger. We don't mean to be off course, but it just happens, and it happens 1 degree at a time. And here comes that still small voice. Are you ready to listen now? Are you willing to be open to God's prompting within your spirit? Listen, and you will hear him say, you are meant for more than this. Yes, more than you have settled for, more than you currently see, more than you know, more than you're comfortable with. There's so much more for you. If Jesus said the Spirit of God living within us would empower us to do the things he did and even greater, I guess I have to ask the question, why aren't we? That potential is there. It's possible. Maybe we've just gotten wrapped up in the patterns of this world and forgotten our truth. We've gone a little off course, and as we continue to repeat our actions daily, our trajectory takes us to a different destination than the destiny God has in mind for us. I don't know, I'm just brainstorming here, right? But I believe the way back is the same thing that caused us to get off course in the first place. We just need a slight correction. When we hear that whisper telling us, you are meant for more than this, does it also come with the realization of a specific habit or action that you and I can both improve on? I bet it does. We just need a 1 degree adjustment. And when God tells us that we are meant for more than this, he also shows us where we've settled for less and how we can change that. One of my all-time favorite verses, Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. The pattern of this world says, watch more videos, binge on more Netflix, be entertained, be anywhere but here, get more stuff, try to look like her. And when we follow that pattern, we get off course and we miss God's will and his good plan for our lives. We end up in a totally different place than God destined for us. Now there's always a way back. But how about we not wait until we crash and burn? Let's start making the corrections in course now. I believe this scripture is not only talking about the pattern of this world, but your own personal habits, the pattern you create in your own world, the routine and the rut you and I both fall into, the thoughts we think without direction, the things we say without restraint, the way we spend our time without intention. Do not conform to this any longer. Don't just give in and assume how we've always been is how we'll always be. God says that we can be transformed. That means you and I can change. But how do we change? We start by changing our mind. You decide if God says, I'm meant for more than this, then I won't settle for this. If God says he created me for greater things, then I know I can get through this. Where does God want you to go to work on your 1 degree adjustment? Maybe it's going to ultimately require a whole lot more than 1 degree because you've been off by a good 20 for a long time now. I don't know, but either way, don't get overwhelmed in that. Our God is a God of increase, and I'm telling you, he has the ability to take what little you can do today and multiply it. This gets me fired up, but he multiplies it in ways that do not make sense. He has the ability to do in 1 day what you couldn't do in 1,000 years. God can transform you when you decide you're changing your perspective and your actions. It's possible. Hear that whisper. You are meant for more than this. then notice the next thing your spirit confirms that you can adjust. Make that 1 degree adjustment and know your trajectory can be changed. It just changed. I hope this fueled your thoughts, your actions, and your day. And if you're wanting more fire in your day, follow me on Instagram or join us for the Just Breathe small group, a 12-month faith-filled mindset and accountability experience, or even our next retreat. We are headed to Glacier in June. We've been all over the place on epic adventures that allow us to step outside our comfort zone. So be sure to go to jillallencoaching.com for all updates or join the Just Breathe Facebook group. We would love to have you join us. Heads up on the next episode, we are continuing the Beyond Great series for the fresh start. They're super short, they're super sweet, but yet they're super powerful. So be sure to pop back in next week. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I pray that we filled your heart with joy. And if you could let us know before hopping off here today, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit. And I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.